Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of old sheet music. I'm your host Nicholas Carroll, and tonight we are looking at a piece called Pierette. Pierette is a female Pierrot, and if you don't know, a Pierrot is an old character, usually associated with like a clown type character, but really they were more like a mime. And they often are depicted with the painted white face with like the tear hair and sometimes on both sides. And they originally are from French old folk stories. The original one is from an old French folk story slash nursery rhyme, or it's also a song called Au clair de lune. And that is not to be confused with Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. We're talking about even older than that, much older than that. And in this nursery rhyme slash story, there is a clown slash Pierrot. And basically, he thinks that he has a stain on his clown suit, his Pierrot suit, but it is actually just the moonlight reflecting on his clothes. And he can't get a stain out because it's not really a stain. So this folk story has him going crazy trying to get rid of this stain, and it won't come out because it's just light. But he doesn't know that, and he obsessively goes like this, like he's trying to get rid of it, to scrub it. And that's where the pantomime part of being a Pierrot came from. And of course that got turned into just regular mimes that are, everyone's seen that, trying to, as if they're trapped inside something. So you're pantomiming something which comes from this old story about the moonlight being confused for a stain. So a Pierette is a female Pierrot, because most Pierrots, well, all Pierrots are male, but a Pierette would be female. So that's the name, that's the story behind the name, anyway. Now, the person who wrote this, Leslie Coward, I could find nothing about. We have a interesting artwork, given that this is about a Pierette, a female Pierrot. And it has nothing to do with that. It has a little boy using a very incorrect piano technique, just kind of doing the hunting and pecking method there with both hands. And the girl behind him cheering him on. He's sitting on like a bar stool for some reason instead of a real piano bench. And the piano is even striped like his shirt. So he matches. How cool is that, right? So that really has nothing to do with the name of the song. Now, when I look at the music, it says it's lightly throughout. So I'm assuming they're referring to the few staccato notes they put on the first measure. So that isn't the normal way to notate that. Typically you put staccato simile, which would mean continue instead of just lightly throughout. But I'm assuming that's what they're going for, since that's not really a tempo. Otherwise, lightly throughout doesn't tell you what speed to go, which is what that should be indicating. So this was written in 1967, published by Chappell and Company. That's one that it was fairly famous. I have a few other pieces published by them. There's not anything you can find about this Leslie Coward. I looked a little bit, so I don't have anything else about him. We have a few other pieces published by this company on the back, which are all by other fairly famous composers. You got George Gershwin, Richard Rodgers, Dan Coates, but nothing else by Leslie Coward on the back. So that's the story, Pierrot. Let's see if it sounds anything like a pantomime or a clown, or has anything to do with that in the way it sounds. have a tune reminiscent a little bit of, most people would know as This Old Man, which is actually taken from another famous piece, English folk song called Country Gardens. Kind of had that same tune there in the middle of it. Particularly that part at the end. So, that is not credited anywhere, so I guess it's kind of, I guess you could say it's reminiscent of a folk song, which fits with the theme of A Clair de la Lune being a folk song about perils. So, I guess you could see the connection there. Do not use that boys technique. See you next time.